Welcome Facebook Live, Elyse Southwell here at Nasdaq market site in Times Square for Nasdaq Disruptors. Today we're talking about the wonderful world of ad tech, specifically programmatic advertising and data management platforms. We're here with the expert in this space, Andy Monfried, founder and CEO of Lotame. Thanks for being here, Andy.
Elyse, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no worries. So what's Lotame, and tell us what you do.
So Lotame is a data management platform. We are the largest independent company that does what we do. Basically, we help companies manage this immense amount of information being thrown at them by consumers. And we help provide brands and advertisers with a single view of their customer. It's the most important thing. Right now, if you think about mobile, web, TV, all these different ways that consumers are interacting with brands and content, they need one way of looking at their customer, a single platform to manage all this data.
So for our viewers out there that aren't familiar with programmatic advertising, can you sort of give a programmatic 101?
Sure. Programmatic is supply and demand. Publishers like the New York Times, WebMD, the weather company, Hearst, have this tremendous amount of supply of impressions, advertising space. Advertisers want to target on that advertising space. They have dollars to spend. In the old days, it used to be, let me give you a piece of paper from the advertiser to buy a fixed number of impressions or space. Those days are gone. Now, the advertiser says, I want to buy people. I want to buy your people, not necessarily your impressions. So, just like the stock market used to be, where you would do paper trading, you would walk in and say, I want to buy this much stock, and there'd be a buyer on the other side. Now it's all automated. And in the world of supply and demand around programmatic media, the price, the data, and the people are all automated to match the supply and demand, and it all happens in real time.
So when you say you want to buy the people, you mean the audience?
The audience people that have some layer of knowledge, whether it's a good price they're buying the people for, the audience, whether it is a previous piece of data, meaning a kernel or a nugget of information about that audience, an advertiser is willing to spend more money. And David Ogilvy always said, hey, 50% of advertising is wasted. We just don't know which half. Those days are gone.
So now that's programmatic,
Yep.
And now DMP, Data Management
Sure.
Platform.
So DMP obviously stands for Data Management Platform. And it is the single source for companies to manage, activate, and organize consumer data. And some people call it a people store. Some people call it a data lake. But what it ends up being across an entire organization, across brands, across analytics, across search, across email, across purchase data, there has to be a single view of understanding Elyse. Elyse likes this when she's on her mobile device, and this is what she does. When she's home, these are her loyalty cards. This is how she shops. And having that single way of looking at Elyse, and also people that act like Elyse, and finding out more about them. And increasingly what we're doing is including that data with TV to show people like Elyse what she's watching. What shows does Elyse watch in real time so that advertisers can target better? And the 50% of advertising that was wasted is no longer wasted with the DMP.
When they say Big Brother is watching, you
Yes.
know that feeling, that when you sort of the grandmothers, the grandfathers are like, how did they know that was me?
Right, I totally understand. And it's all anonymized. It is not like we necessarily know Elyse. It is Elyse's devices. On average, I think you have probably 15 devices in your house that are connected to the internet. Those devices give off a lot of information about what your household does. So it's really targeting at the household level around these devices that we can match to people.
Andy, I love your story. You started out as a salesperson. Then your company that you were working for was sold to AOL for, I think, like $560 million.
That's right.
And then you started your own company. You hit the salesperson jackpot. Every sales guy out there is wishing that was them. How was that? How was that whole experience? How was that?
It was an incredible experience. It has been an incredible experience, and it's still going. So I've been blessed. I found something in my life that I really like to do, and I committed myself to do things that I wanted to do. But being, I think, at the cutting edge, the bleeding edge of an industry, starting when AOL first started, is when I got into this business with really smart entrepreneurs. I think hitching your wagon to really, really intelligent people that you can complement their skill set is important. But I also think listening to customers, hearing what customers want, hearing what people at the Nasdaq want out of a data management platform. And listening to that and tailoring your service, your product, and your processes to your customers is the single most important thing that I've learned as a good salesperson. And I hope I've carried that through to be a decent CEO, but I'm not sure yet.
They say, though, the best CEOs on the planet always started as salespeople.
That is true.
It is true.
I happen to believe that because you know how to cut through the noise. At the end of the day, I want to make fast decisions with the most relevant information. And am I perfect? Absolutely not. No one is. But I make decisions, right or wrong. I'm making quick decisions for customers, for our product, and for our people. And that is one thing people can't say is that I'm indecisive. And I think that's from being a good listener and a good salesperson.
And the pitch. I know I don't want to get too off topic here, but ladies and gentlemen, salespeople, it's where to go. It's the best training you can have.
I think that the key thing about salespeople that makes them good salespeople is active listeners. If you're an active listener and you can process information really, really quickly and listen rather than talk and then formulate your response around the key points that you just heard, I also think it's modeling your personality to who you're meeting with. I don't think the cookie cutter approach works anymore. I think you have to model your personality and your style to who you're selling to. And too often, old school salespeople, marginal salespeople, just come with their bag of knowledge instead of molding their time in front of a customer to the customer's personality and buying type.
Yeah, you're totally right. You're totally right. And there's a book, I think it's called like The Power of Listening or something. And it's a great sort of sales book. Anyway, I don't want to get too off topic, but I read that you had a near-death experience. And when you were involved in this experience or this tragedy, it's what really sparked your reason for starting Lotame.
That's true.
Can you tell us about
Yeah, so I was in Israel with my wife in 1997, and we were going on a trip throughout the country. Unfortunately, we were in a restaurant in Jerusalem on September 4th, 1997, where we sat down to eat, and two suicide bombers happened to be disguised in the restaurant we were in. And we were amongst the only survivors to emerge from a shattered, absolutely surreal scene that impacted who I am. And many children were killed, and we had to, we were sitting behind a wall that happened to protect us from the shrapnel. The bombers had nails and screws and all these things, and all the children around us were killed, and we emerged as the only survivors. And I learned so much from that experience that I can't even tell you how to be direct, how to follow your passion, and most importantly, I think just be genuine to everybody you meet. And I try to be as transparent as possible in all my business dealings, my personal dealings, and the truth of the matter is I don't carry a lot of baggage because I don't believe in it. So I'm happy to say that I was able to take the worst possible thing that could have happened to me and turn it around for the better, because the truth is I'm playing with house money. I don't feel like I should be here. And I don't want people to have to go through what we went through, but I can tell you that I turned it into something that was positive for me.
When you were an employee of a company and then you went to being a CEO and founder and CEO, was that a difficult transition for you, or did it feel very natural?
It felt natural. I felt like even when I worked for other people, I worked for two brothers, I always felt like I was my own personal CEO. I took responsibility for my business. I opened the New York office. In 3 or 4 years, we did $100 million in revenue that I was responsible for. And I always viewed my responsibility as an employee for somebody else as my own business unit leader, CEO. So I feel like this was a natural progression. It's just, as a CEO, a lot more information is thrown at you on a daily basis. And for me, I feel very comfortable as CEO.
Can you give us a couple of use cases for the Lotame DMP? How would a publisher integrate Lotame?
Sure. A publisher would integrate Lotame in a myriad of ways. The first one is they would put code across everywhere their content is. So think about where their content is. Their content is on the web. Their content is on TV. Their content is on mobile devices. Their content is across all these other platforms, iPads. And then once they put that code up, they can write rules and say, people that do this, I want them to be in this audience. People that do this, I want them to be in this audience. And that's the audience, what I call DMP 101. They can then offer that information out to advertisers programmatically and say, if you want to buy Elyse, who's a health food crazed nut, vegan, Here is Elyse's profile of this audience of 90,000 people, like Elyse. That's number one. On the advertiser side, setting up a platform, a DMP, allows them to programmatically or in another way buy those people that publishers have. And it's just a much better way of both selling media and buying media. Selling media for publishers and buying media.
My next question was going to be, how do marketers use this? But of course, the marketers are the one buying it, so it integrates the buying process. It makes it more seamless. You're saying.
Well, what I'm saying is this: is that the future, which is not too far away, we're actually living it, is platform to platform. Everything that we're doing today in transacting goods, services, and everything else is platform to platform. If I would have told you 20 years ago there'd be no more wires, everything would be mobile connected, IP connected stuff, that wires in a wall wouldn't exist, people would have laughed at me. And I'm telling you now, advertising is going to be transacted 100% in a platform-to-platform world. The days of briefcase carrying sales guys are over. And if they're selling a platform, they'll be successful. Selling technology, those people will be successful. People selling media are going to have a hard time in the future.
And that's why the DMP is important for the ad tech ecosystem.
That's exactly right. You need a platform to transact. You need a platform to transact. And when I say transact, it is to manage the immense amount of knowledge that you have about your customer. What am I selling that customer? What am I offering that customer? And what am I offering others access to my customers? That is the future. And one way or another, whether it's content, personalization, or advertising, it will all be done through a platform like a data management platform.
And my question was going to be, where we were going was, what's the future? And that's the future, platform to platform.
The future's platform to platform, 100%, and that is where all media, content, and personalization will take place.
Switching gears a little bit, Andy, what's the best thing about running your company?
I think the best thing about running my company is getting up every day. I have bad days. I mean, I think we all do. I think the best thing about running my company is the people that I look forward to seeing on a daily basis, people that are additive to my life. Surrounding yourself with people that you'd be willing to have them babysit your kids because you trust them is something that I enjoy going into my office every day with really good people. I think that for me is really important. The second one is having great stable of clients and investors. Those are the things that I really enjoy. And probably the thing that one step below that is having an incredible platform of people that have architected and built something that actually makes a difference. We're not saving lives. We're not doing brain surgery on children, but we are having a material difference in our clients' lives by helping them make more money.
You're so good, Andy. You're so good. Okay, so what makes you excited? Obviously, work makes you excited.
Spending time with you.
Oh, that's too sweet. But really, what brush that lipstick off your shoulder. So, but really, what makes you excited? What do you like to do? What are your hobbies?
So I love spending time watching. One of my daughters is an elite volleyball player. I love spending time watching her play volleyball. I golf. I love golfing. I love writing. I am writing a book. I'm currently writing a book about this experience that I will include in my book, but it's about building a business and overcoming adversity and really taking a hard look at yourself and all your shortcomings and figuring out if you want to tackle your shortcomings or ignore them. I've chosen to ignore some and tackle others, but that's really the genesis of the book, and it's about how I've been able to do it.
You are so awesome, and Nasdaq is all about entrepreneurialism, innovation, ambition, and you are just talking about all that stuff, and it's great. But do you have one or two pieces of advice for anybody that's watching out there on Facebook? Maybe they're at their desk, they're on their couch, and they're like, gosh, like, how do I get some of that? What tips can you give entrepreneurs out there?
So my first one is, I don't care what anyone says, failure stinks. I could use harsher language. I don't care everybody that says, hey, go fail, it's great for you. No, failure stinks. Figure out every way under the sun not to fail. That's number one. Number two is, don't write a business plan. Business plans are not worth the salt they're worth. Don't waste your time writing a business plan. Go talk to customers. Go talk to people that could use your product and give it away to start off. At Lotame, what we did was, in our first 2 years, we almost gave our product away for free in order to get widespread adoption. Go build something and give it away. Lastly, surround yourself with people way better than you. Those are the three things that I can honestly tell you. And if you can't pay them in money, figure out what currency you can pay them in and then go secure it. Lastly, if you don't have access to funds, figure out a friends and family network that you can cobble together enough money to attract the talent you need. Don't go to a professional group to try to raise from VCs until you can A, prove out your product, and B, surround yourself with people that are better than you. And everything else will work out. But don't waste time with minutia. Minutia is business planning. Minutia is trying to write stuff that people want to see. What you need to do is take care of that big block stuff first. Will customers use my product? Can I sell this product? And is it valuable? Is it making a difference? If you can answer those questions, it'll matter. And do everything you can to avoid failure. Don't listen to people that say, oh, failure's great. Go run for failure. It makes you better. Doesn't. Sucks.
You are such an inspiration, Andy. Thank you so much.
Elyse, thank you.
Lotame DMP. Your book coming out is. Do we have a date for the book?
No, I'm still in the middle of scoping it out and writing it, so it'll probably come out next year.
Okay. Well, we will be definitely
Elyse,
excited to read it.
thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you, everybody, for watching today. I'm Elyse Southwell with Nasdaq Disruptors. Have a great day.